Welcome back, YouTubers. Oh man, we are on the road with the Ford Explorer for the first time, shaking her out. She's cruising at 45. She's got a check engine light come out of nowhere, but we'll check that code when we get back home. Right now, we're just gonna shake it out a little bit. The weather turned real gray today, huh? Wild, man. We had great weather yesterday, and all of a sudden, clouds and rain today. She's driving good so far. She pulls a little bit to the left, not too bad, but just tells me we need an alignment. But other than that, man, it's driving real smooth. I honestly am very surprised how it's driving after sitting for 5 years. So normally about this time when we're between 45 and 50, before I remove the drive shaft, it would chirp and it would shudder, it would shake real violently. And that's because the gearing was binding up. So it's a good thing we removed this drive shaft so we can do some regular driving. You know, to be honest, with that check engine light, I thought we were gonna start off with a check engine light when I first trailered this back to the house, but it just didn't. And I'm wondering if there's any correlation to removing the front drive shaft. Does anyone know out there, if you remove the front drive shaft in these Explorers, if the check engine light goes off? Leave a comment down below. Well, I just got a message and someone wants to come see the 75 Chevy C30. So I'm headed over to my aunt's house and we're gonna go show them the truck. So we'll see you guys there. We're almost there, actually. Well, we made it. Let's go check out the Chevy. Yeah, there she is. 1975 C30. It's two-wheel drive, but it's a dually. Check out this. Let's go back in time.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Look at that old Crown bottle right there. Man, the dirt is sticking here. Camper special. Dear day.
Rule number one. I'm number one. You hear that? I like to kid around.
Joe Dirte. 1975. You gotta slam the doors. This is what you guys want to see right here. Oh, 54. We ain't gonna try and start it up today. We already know that it runs. Anytime you got old oil in there, you really don't want to run it. It'll mess up the inside of the engine, burn up pistons, burn up rings. Ooh. Hand over. Go.
I'll give him one out of there.
want to do that. But yeah, she's for sale. Got her on Facebook Marketplace right now. And you know, while we're here, I want to just take a walk around the yard. You guys can see everything. This is like a picker's dream over here. Boats and hoes.
What are you doing on my boat? That's my boat.
A little bit of everything. Got that 70s box truck over there for sale too. A little balloon dune buggy. We'll see that in a little bit. Stay tuned. This trailer's not for sale. We got a Saturn for sale. This is pretty much just good for parts. 93. Trailer I want to say is for sale. This trailer I want to say is for sale. That one's not. That Sea-Doo's for sale. Oh man, this is a real cool piece of Americana right here. Who knows about these? Leave a comment down below. Sea-Doos all over this property. Sold a ton of them already. These ones are in really bad condition. No motor, blown head gasket, blown engine. Scrap metal we still got to get out of here. We got engines. But one of the coolest things back here, you know what that's to? Those are wings. That's to this right here. Falcon XP. Pretty excited that the Explorer's on the road. Just made a few bucks, so I'm gonna go pick up some parts and we'll continue on. So make sure you guys are subscribed, hit that thumbs up, and keep an eye out for that next update. And before I forget, yeah, there she is, little blue dune buggy. Had it for sale, and I had somebody that wanted to buy it as soon as it hit the market, but turns out it was already spoken for. These guys are still available. Still got this one available. Just got rid of the boat right there the other day. Sold a trailer with some Sea-Doos the other day. And we still got, oh, I need to look at this. Oh, look at that big old black widow right there. He's a big guy. Jeez Louise. Here it is, Merc Cruiser by Mercury. Someone was asking me about this. I got this one listed, and he was asking me what kind of drive it had in it, so now I'll be able to tell him. And the last one for sale is this one. She's a runner. Let me know, guys. P0174. We have three codes stored. P0171, P0705. So let's take a look at those right now. Alright, so I cleared the codes, and without doing any work, check engine light went away. So it could be a false reading, but I think that idle air control valve needs to be replaced because it's just old and worn out. The spring inside is worn out, and it's probably causing it to run too lean or too rich. I've got one of those on order. It should be here by 3 p.m. today, so we are going to get that replaced and see if that improves it, because otherwise it's saying I've got a vacuum leak. But I've been through all the hoses, and there's not any dry rotted hoses, any cracked hoses, any missing hoses. Everything that was damaged has been replaced. So I think it's just probably that idle air control valve. And yesterday was the first time I had it on the road, so it was probably the first time the computer was able to detect you know, the faults in that idle air control valve. So I also have some spark plugs I'm picking up today. We're going to be putting those in, so stay tuned. If you guys are having similar issues, definitely look down below in the description. I'll have all the parts listed down there that we're replacing today. Appreciate you guys. Throw a thumbs up, and let's continue on. And just to double check that we don't have any vacuum leaks, we're kind of looking through all the hoses and everything once again, listening for any hissing sounds. It'll sound like wind whistling. but I don't hear any vacuum leaks. I don't see any bad hoses. Everything seems to be in order, so I think it's just that idle air control valve that needs to be replaced. And I think the idle will be improved 100% once we get that replaced and the spark plugs. Plus, I also remembered I need to pick up a filter while I'm at the store today too. Honestly, when it's nice and warm, it's running pretty good. I mean, listen to it. Not too shabby. While I'm waiting for parts to come in, I'm doing a little bit of detailing. Vacuumed all my carpets out. Now I'm wiping all the plastics down and get this thing cleaned up real nice. Alright, we just got our parts in. We got our new air controller valve. Alright. Intake air control. Yeah, that's what this is. Anyways, you can see brand new what it's supposed to look like. And this is why it wasn't working that great. It's because it was all gummed up. We cleaned it up and it was able to help it out, but we're throwing up a code, hoping this is going to alleviate the code now. Alright. We're all installed. This is a super easy install. There's just two 8mm bolts, one on each side. You got one plug. You just push it in, pull it out. Super easy. Takes less than 5 minutes. If you're getting this from AutoZone like I did, the part number is TV246. Alright, this is for the 4.0 single overhead cam. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the fuel filter. And we're going to have to remove these little clamps right here on both sides. And then we're going to need to use our fuel tool to release the hose. But before you take any lines off, you want to let the fuel pressure out. And there's a Schrader valve on top of the engine, both on the left hand and the right hand side, with a blue cap on it. You just take that blue cap off, put a rag underneath it. I'll show you guys in a minute, and you know, push the valve in with like a screwdriver, and have a rag underneath it so that any fuel that comes out will just get absorbed in the rag. But yeah, let's go ahead and remove this. Well, a normal disconnect tool ain't gonna work. This is too big. This is too big, but these are the right size. They're just too long. You can't get them in there. Sometimes you gotta modify tools. Just cut it off with a grinder. Hopefully it'll fit in there now. Okay, part of it's in. Now that one's too freaking long, hey? Might have to shorten up that side. That one right there is not going in. Yeah, it's off by like a hair. Alright, well, the tool's in there now, but now it's too short to get the connector in there and get it loose, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. Moment of truth. Let's see if this intake air controller did any difference. Alright, definitely a lot more responsive. Check engine light. We're going to have to check that out a little bit more, but I really think it's from the drive shaft. It was like a P7475 or something like that. I have to go back and look. But I think there's a sensor that's detecting the drive shaft missing. Weird, but it is what it is. So let's see if we still have the vacuum leak error codes. P0705. That's the drive shaft. Error vacuum leak, error vacuum leak. But we need to clear them. Okay, 0 DTC, check engine off. Alright, check engine is off. Now we're going to have to drive it again to see if it comes back. I just got back from the test drive and everything's A-OK. Check engine light stayed off. I know the drive shaft is eventually going to kick the sensor back on because I didn't have any check engine lights until I took that off. And now that we have the new intake air control, man, the throttle is real nice and crisp. So if you're having any issues with high RPMs or rough idling, you know, check out your IAC. That may be the problem. If so, check the links in the description. I got a brand new one waiting for you. But until then, I appreciate everyone stopping by. Thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. We'll catch you on the next update.